How many American families would be allowed to get away with this? Why should there be one standard for the elite political class and another set of rules for the rest of us? When millions of Americans voted for Donald Trump, they knew he'd be different, and he is. He's a tough, no-nonsense outsider who can't be bought or intimidated. He won't even take a paycheck from the American people. He donates his paycheck to charity.
Guys, not sure what happened there. I got kicked off of YouTube and all the other platforms. It looks, I don't know if I was kicked off Twitter or not, but it looks like I'm back. Welcome. This is the second part of the live stream. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody reported me or whatever, but I didn't get a notification from YouTube. But we're back, so let's get right back into it. This is Pam Bondi, and she's doing the whole Hunter Biden thing, which, as we know, Hunter Biden is completely crooked because Rudy Giuliani was on OAN back in January and February telling us he was going to soon release this mountain of evidence. And I'm sure, I don't keep track of the news really, but I'm sure Rudy Giuliani produced all that evidence like he said he was going to. And we all know that Hunter Biden is completely crooked. So that's importantly. Did I accidentally hit the wrong button? I don't think I did, Dr. Howard, because first YouTube went down and then Twitter went down. It could have been an accident, or it could have been something happened that restream as well. I don't know. But anyway, here we are back with the RNC. This is the live stream. I'm your host, Heavenly Father. I hope everybody finds their way back here. Hi, Darren. Good to see you. Hi, Bave. All right. It looks like Stephanie. We're back. Let's get back into it. Here's Pam Bondi.
Across this country. Democrats have been lecturing America about integrity for 4
You know what it is? It's the media trying to silence liberals. That's what it is.
years.
I'm being censored.
While their nominee has been writing the textbook on abuse of power.
So it looks like YouTube chat is working. If you're in on the Twitch or Twitter, let me just update Twitter here, see if it's working. Yeah, looks like, okay, so looks like 12 people are watching already on Twitter, so that's watching. I do not know if Twitter is coming through the chat, so if you're on Twitter, say hi, and then we'll know whether or not I need to adjust the chat. But for whatever reason, YouTube, that wasn't coming through to the chat earlier, is now going through the chat. So if you're having trouble getting through to the chat, then go to youtube.com/KevinlyFather for however long that lasts. Let's get going.
For 40 years. If they want to make this election a choice between who's saving America and who's swindling America, bring it on. Joe says he'll build back better. Yeah, build the Bidens back better. Our president is in this to build a safer, better, and stronger.
Okay. How are you going to build the Bidens back better? That doesn't even make sense. Secondly, the only connotation you could take out of that is what? Bringing back the wife and the daughter and Beau Biden that Joe Biden lost? What a sick fuck this lady is, if that's what she means. Much more likely she's just taking that. You be careful, because otherwise I'll restrict you. I'll restrict you. Just a gainsay. Build Biden's house back better. More like it. Yeah. It reminds me, Steven Zahn in a movie one time said something about that, and his retort is, he didn't say something, there was an insult to Steven Zahn, I don't remember the insult, and his response was, well, you are one. Love me some Steven Zahn. Moving on.
For America. And he will finish.
Okay, so Twitter is working, and Periscope is working, and YouTube is working. Everybody's in the chat room all together. This is really coming through, America. Thanks, President Trump.
What he started to keep this a real land of opportunity for everyone. If you want to check your voting status, secure your ballot, or
she's been talking for a long time now, guys.
Register to vote, text VOTE to 88022. Remember.
Oh, was she fired as Surgeon General of Florida? I didn't even know that, Dr. Howard.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah! You guys missed Kimberly last night. I did too. I still haven't watched it. Maybe we'll watch her later. This could go for a while. The day will come when man will recognize woman as his... Okay, so not only at the fireside, but in the Council of the Nations. Then, and not until then, will be that... Oh, God damn it.
Women have played a very, very big role. The level of genius is unbelievable, frankly.
You're what? You've got 70, 80 years on this earth? What are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna make that difference? Are you gonna say, I was there for the big battles in our country to save America?
It's what I feel very much called to do ever since I was a very young girl.
In 2016, Donald Trump made his historic run for the office of United States President. Knowing the monumental task he would be undertaking, he rested all of his hopes for winning on one woman. Because of that trust, he became the 45th President of the United States, and Kellyanne Conway became the first woman in U.S. history to manage a winning presidential campaign.
This president has been a champion for women.
She was actually a co-manager of the campaign with Steve Bannon. Whatever happened to Steve Bannon?
Mostly because he speaks to them as if they can handle and tackle all issues.
I don't want a job because of my gender. I want the job because I'm the best person for that position.
At yelling!
And he respects that. And he appreciates hard work. You can't ask for anything better, especially in a boss.
President Trump continues to place strong
She's dating the guy's son, but yeah.
Women into significant...
By the way, they're getting paid $30,000 on the Trump campaign. Kimberly Guilfoyle and Lara Trump are taking in $30,000 a month. A month.
significant positions throughout his administration and campaign, far more than any other president in U.S. history.
That he has had and does have more women on his top team than any president before, but it actually goes down to his deputy assistants, to his...
Just something about President Trump really grabs women.
Special assistants, to our awesome teams throughout the West Wing.
And when he called me and said, I want you to represent my entire campaign, I became the first Black woman to represent a Republican presidential campaign, winning presidential campaign in United States history.
Throughout his career, Trump has always touted family first as a core value. He shows this especially with his choices of press secretaries, choosing Sarah Sanders, the first mother to become a press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, the first single mother to serve as press secretary, and Kayleigh McEnany, who transitioned into the job while also
the first reptile to serve as
transitioning into the job of mom.
I have 4 children. Kellyanne Conway has 4 children. Ivanka has, I think between all the senior staff women, we might have 75 kids. I'm not sure, we've lost count, but the importance of the work is never lost on any of us. And truly, it is those children that we are fighting for and for their future.
And yeah, no, we're like the people who assist the president. Like if he needs something typed up or something, or said for him, you know, to do the work, or the, you know, in terms of his, well, I'd say that we were secretaries, but in terms of his secretaries, there's only 2 women of all the secretaries. I mean, Ben Carson's a frickin' secretary, but is it 2 or 3, guys? Fact check me on that. We got Secretary of Transportation. We got Secretary of Education. Are there any other females left in the cabinet? But anyway, no, he totally values females. Totally. Like I do Chris Perazzo.
Sure.
With these capable women placed in positions of powerful influence and authority, President Trump has proven that when the stakes are highest, he is proud to entrust many of our nation's most crucial jobs to women.
The number of dedicated, amazing, brilliant, relentless women that are dedicated to the country and to the president and to preserving the American dream is one of the greatest, if not the greatest things I'll ever be a part of.
Only the president would say, let's take that stay-home mom and have her run the party. What a smart guy.
Good evening.
Yeah, 2, oh my God. Oh my God. I think that's Tiffany. 2 women. Out of all the secretaries, 2 women. But yeah, he values women. His vice president, borderline. I don't want to sound homophobic here, so it's Mike Pounce.
Good evening. I'm Tiffany Trump.
Yes, you are.
Since speaking at the Republican convention 4 years ago, so much has changed for the world, for our country, and for my family. Like so many students across the world, I graduated from law school during the pandemic. Our generation is unified in the facing the future in uncertain times, and many of us are considering what kind of country we want to live in. As a recent graduate, I can relate to so many of you who might be looking for a job. My father built a thriving economy once, and believe me, he will do it again.
He killed a thriving economy once, but yeah.
Election, I urge each and every one of you to transcend political boundaries. This is a fight for freedom versus oppression, for opportunity versus stagnation.
She needs to smile more.
A fight to keep America true to America. I urge you to make judgment based on results and not rhetoric.
She needs to yell more.
If you believe in criminal justice reform, there is only one president that passed the First Step Act, giving people a second chance, a chance at a life once again. And if you believe in expanding quality and affordable health care, only President Trump, my father, signed the right to try into law the Favored Nations Clause and other actions to lower drug prices and keep Americans from getting ripped off. People must recognize that our thoughts, our opinions, and even the choice of who we are voting for may and are being manipulated and visibly coerced by the media and tech giants. If you tune into the media, you get one biased opinion or another, and what you share.
What's a biased opinion?
If it does not fit into the narrative that they seek to promote, then it is either ignored or deemed a lie, regardless of the truth. This manipulation of what information we receive impedes our freedoms. Rather than allowing Americans the right to form our own beliefs, this misinformation system keeps people mentally enslaved to the ideas they deem correct. This has fostered unnecessary fear.
Has everyone else kind of tuned out? I have. I'm sorry. I was listening to her, and she just, this tone, wow. This makes Ben Carson seem like an order.
And divisiveness amongst us. Why?
Why?
There's so many in media and technology, and even in our own government, so invested in promoting a biased and fabricated view.
What?
Ask yourself.
What is what did she say? Is it just me, or is there something weird?
Invested in promoting a biased and fabricated view.
Fabricated? She's a lawyer? Well, she is her dad's child, so I guess it all makes sense.
Ask yourselves, why are we prevented from seeing certain information? Why is one viewpoint promoted while...
Guys, I don't want to make fun of her. She has some kind of speech impediment. Does she? Does anybody know?
Others are hidden. The answer is control, because division and controversy breed a
What does she remind me of? There's a... Oh! Cecily Strong, drunk girl at a party. You're just a poster, Seth. You don't... Am I a poser or a poster? Like a... Look, Seth.
Profit.
She's Cecily Strong's drunk girl at a party.
What are the consequences when...
You're just upset that Trump fabricated his jobs. Like, fabricated? Made them up? Or fat?
Only one side of the story gets out, or when only one viewpoint is acceptable? For our education system, it meant sacrificing civil debate by creating an atmosphere where students with contrary opinions
drunk at a party, yeah,
are too afraid to speak. Many students find themselves suppressing their beliefs to fit into what the acceptable groupthink is. In short, our nation suffers by...
She does the weird thing where she kind of talks with her shoulders, like Ivanka does that too. Where she's just all you just thinking about and fabricated with your beliefs. Just, what?
Inhibiting our diversity of thought and inclusion of ideas. working together outside of our political comfort zones will accomplish so much more. Some cynical politicians do not seem to believe in the miracle of America. Well, I do.
Of America. Some cynical politicians do not believe in the miracle of America, but it's fabricated. And I'm fascinated by all of it.
As Maximo Alvarez said so eloquently last night, if freedom is lost in this country, there is nowhere else to go. Having hope is not weakness, and believing in miracles is a gift from God. So tonight, I want to tell you the uncensored truth of what we believe in.
The what truth?
To tell you the uncensored truth of what we believe. So tonight, I want to tell you the uncensored truth of what we believe in.
I can't even say that word.
Believe in equality of opportunity. We believe in freedom of thought and expression. Think what you want. Seek out the truth. Learn from those with different opinions. And then freely make your voice heard to the world. We believe in school choice because a child's zip code in America should not determine their future. We believe in freedom of religion for all faiths. And we believe in the American spirit, a country founded on ideas, not identity, a country where our differences are embraced, and the only country where the word dream has been attached to it. Because
that's simply not true. Every country, Canadian dream, Australian dream. Wait, isn't that like a back pain medication?
In America, your life is yours to chart. So, if you're hearing these things and thinking to yourself, that is the kind of country that I want to live in, well, whether you realize it or not, you are a Trump supporter. I encourage you to see beyond the facade that so many other politicians employ. They mask themselves in disguises of decency as they try to pressure us to mask our own identities and beliefs. My father is the only person to challenge the establishment, the entrenched bureaucracy, big pharma, and media monopolies.
What is he challenging?
The entrenched bureaucracy is the only person to challenge the establishment, the entrenched bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy? Is that because of Barack Obama? And the bureaucracy?
Big person to challenge the establishment. The entrenched bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy.
Big pharma and media monopolies to ensure that Americans' constitutional freedoms are upheld.
I don't think bureaucracy is a thing. I think she's fabricating that.
And that justice and truth prevail. My father does
not Wait, what did justice and truth prevail? What do they do?
And that justice and truth prevail. My father does not run away.
She just said prevail is 2 syllables. That's impressive, actually. I'm sure she's lovely, despite everything that I know about her. It's a tongue piercing? Is that what it is?
Away from challenges, even in the face of outright hatred. Because
what hatred?
Does not run away from challenges, even in the face of outright hatred.
Outright? Is that William Attright? Or Stephanie Albright? Like, what is she going for there?
Because fighting for America...
Thank you, John Manarino.
...is something he will sacrifice anything for.
What will he do?
Because fighting for America is something he will sacrifice anything for. Hatred.
Okay, this must be a speech impediment, and I'm going to stop right now because does anybody know? I don't want to make fun of her if she has a speech impediment of some kind. My sister had one as a child and had to have a speech therapist work with her. If I am making fun of Tiffany and she does have a speech impediment, I do apologize. I remember her speech from 2016. I don't remember it being like this. I do know that there's a lot of cocaine available at the RNC. But no, seriously, if she does have a speech impediment, but wow.
Because fighting for America is something.
Because what for America? That's not a speech impediment.
Even in the face of outright hatred. Because fighting for America is
Fighting.
something he will sacrifice anything for. Fighting for America is something he will sacrifice
Sacrifice. I know Allison says it's a piercing. Allison says everything's a piercing.
For. He dreams big dreams for our country, and he's relentless at achieving them. You see.
Relentless. You know, after you've cleaned out the lint from the dryer, and then somebody else puts it back.
Make America great again.
Babe will fart for kid. You stop stopping, Joanna.
Is not a slogan for my father. It is what drives him to keep his promise
She's
of
doing a fine
what is
job.
right
Doing
for
a fine
American
job.
citizens. The energy of change and opportunity is with us. God has blessed us with unstoppable spirit, his spirit, the American spirit. My dad has proven to be driven by that spirit. He has demonstrated his faith and his uncompromising heart and actions. My father has made me believe that America can truly be great again. If you care about living your life without restraints, about rebelling against those who would suppress your voice and building your American dream.
Yeah, I know this broadcast was already stopped one time, so.
Then the choice in this election is clear. A vote for my father.
Your father who blocked me on Twitter one time? That guy?
Donald J. Trump is a vote to uphold our American ideals. Be true to yourself and stay true to the dream of America. Thank you, and God bless you all.
God bless you too.
I'm Kim Reynolds, governor of the great state of Iowa. I love this.
Who never declared a shutdown. Not a shutdown, but a stay-at-home or anything like that. What did she say? Trump isn't a real dad 4 years ago? I don't think she said that. Somebody look up a Twitter trending, see if there's something we don't know. Again, if I've been making fun of her and she has a speech impediment. Let's get to Kim Reynolds.
This state, and I'm so proud to serve its people. Iowa truly is a land of opportunity.
Opportunity to catch COVID while you're working at a meat packing plant that the governor will force you to keep working at. 87 dead workers, not to mention family members, etc., in the community.
It's the birthplace of the computer. It's a landmark of the financial services industry. And as so many of you already know, it's filled with farmland that feeds and fuels the world. It's also home to people who care for one another, who work hard, who love this country, and are truly grateful for the freedoms it provides. As I like to say, Iowa is one big small town. Neighbor helping neighbor is in our DNA. From the sick farmer who can't harvest his crops, to the single mom who loses her job and is struggling to get back on her feet. The town, the community, helps them get through it. But what happens when a storm rips through almost the entire state? When it's not one farmer who lost his crop, but hundreds. When it's not one neighbor who is without food, but thousands. That happened just 2 weeks ago. A storm called a derecho with hurricane-force winds of up to 140 miles per hour wiped out millions of acres of crops, left thousands without power. It destroyed homes, wrecked lives, and left devastation in its wake. It was the worst storm in our state's history. And Iowans did what you expect Iowans to do. They helped each other, they took care of each other, and they still are. But someone else had our back, our president. When the winds had finished raging and the cleanup had only begun, he showed up. Now, you might not know that because the national media didn't report it, but the Trump administration was here in full force.
I reported it.
The day after the storm, the president called to assure me that we had the full backing of the federal government. And later that week, Vice President Pence came to Iowa to again assure us that the president and his administration were behind us. With the help of the Trump administration, we quickly received a major disaster declaration that will help Iowans get back on their feet. The president, he cut through the bureaucracy to do what needed to be done and to do it quickly. But that's not the first time President Trump showed Iowans that we can rely on him.
All right, we're skipping her. She's boring me.
One resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Abraham Lincoln's words from 165 years ago still resonate today because of who we are. And because
Mike Pence, log cabin Republicans. They've got him standing in front of a green screen, in front of a log cabin. For those of you who don't know, look up log cabin Republicans.
Because of what we are. A country where a boy...
Because of what we are. I am so proud of you right now, Mike.
Born into poverty in a log cabin, raised right here on the frontier of Indiana, could educate himself, become a lawyer, become a president of the United States who would preserve the Union, abolish slavery, and save the nation. As a fellow Hoosier, visiting Lincoln's boyhood home has always been a treasured experience for me and my family. It's a place that made Lincoln. It shaped Lincoln and defined the man that Lincoln would become. America is the land of opportunity. As President Donald Trump declared at Mount Rushmore, in America you can do anything. You can be anything. And together, we can achieve anything. Every day, President Donald Trump is fighting to protect the promise of American liberty. Every day, our president's been fighting to expand the reach of the American dream. And on every single day, without fail, President Donald Trump has been fighting for you. So tonight, I'd like to introduce you to a few remarkable Americans who represent that solemn pledge, who embody our president's unbreakable devotion to ensuring that America is a land of unlimited opportunity for all.
Yeah.
Jack is an 8-year-old from Wisconsin who was struggling academically and socially in school. But Jack's mom, Sarah, who works 3 jobs to support her son, applied for Wisconsin's school choice voucher program.
We're glad that we were able to get the school choice voucher to go to that school. With Jack, he would have slipped through the cracks in public schools, and having the option to go to a school that fits him has been a real game changer for us. And I know that because of that opportunity that he's going to succeed and he's going to achieve that goal of being an apparatus engineer, if that's what he chooses to stick with.
Laura McClin is a mother of another inspiring boy, Jordan. Jordan has Duchenne muscular...
You know, as vice president, maybe you could make it a thing that you would want to fix our public schools if he's one of those kids who would have slipped through the cracks in our cherished public school system. Maybe fix the public school system instead of deserting it. I don't know. That's just a thought.
Muscular dystrophy, a fatal muscle weakening disorder. Jordan was at my side in Indiana when, as governor, I signed a law allowing terminally ill patients to access experimental drugs not yet approved by the FDA. In 2018, President Trump signed the landmark federal Right to Try bill into law.
Which duplicated the Iowa bill, which already... Okay.
To the president's leadership, critically ill patients have the right to access life-saving experimental treatments.
We started fighting for Right to Try, which basically says if you have a terminal illness and there's a drug that exists and you don't qualify for the clinical trial, there's no other way to receive it. This is a unique pathway that allows you to have access. You made us a promise back in Indiana that you would do whatever it took to help Jordan, and we're so grateful that you
social distancing, by the way,
joined us on this journey and stuck it out until it became law so that other people could access treatments.
So, Jordan, if President Trump was standing right there, what would you say to him today about Right to Try?
Thank you for being a hero to everybody in the country.
Judge Cheryl Allen made history in 2007 when she became the first African-American woman to be elected to serve on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. It's because of leaders like Judge Allen that our nation has overcome our greatest challenges. In this time of racial division in the country.
Yes.
Do you see faith and values and
Absolutely.
the strong stand that President Trump has taken for equality of opportunity as a pathway toward bringing the country together?
As a senior citizen, I'll leave it at that. I know what racism feels like, but I also know that but for my being in this country, I would have never been able to achieve the things that I have been able to achieve. There are injustices, but the way to deal with those injustices is for people to sit down across the table and talk and come up with solutions. I do believe that President Trump is committed to that.
Yeah, this background music is the part of the Disney movie where they're climbing over the mountains. It's a long journey through the fields on top of the mountains. That's where we are right now.
In 2016, I have to confess that I really did not know candidate Trump at the time, but I have to say that he really won me over.
Gino's a truck driver from Ohio.
We just cut her off in the middle of a sentence? He really won me over, and then on to the, okay, that didn't seem, wasn't he supposed to muss her hair or something?
Ohio, who heard politicians for years make empty promises about defending American jobs, only to see those promises broken. Make empty...
Kind of looks like the guy's hitting him with a club of some kind, and he's
promises about defending American jobs, only to see those promises broken again and again. But in 2019, when General Motors closed its plant in Lordstown, Ohio, President Donald Trump refused to stand by and watch it happen. And as Gino observed, this president reached out to General Motors to find a way to bring jobs back to Lordstown. And plans were soon set into motion to create...
Am I gone?
Lordstown Motors.
Wait, did the broadcast go away again? No, we're here. What? All you see is pollution. What is going on, guys?
President Trump says, this is how we fix it. And I thought, well, that's a simple solution.
Okay.
There's no other president that could have done it. There's no one that has even tried to do it. President Trump's a doer. He appreciates every one of us, and I know he does. I've seen it. When he said, make America great again, that was his task. That wasn't his slogan. That was his task. And every hat you see that says MAGA on it, that's what your president's doing for you. Thank you, Mr. President, for keeping the promises that you made.
And then there's Pastor Aaron Johnson. Today, he's the executive director of the Tulsa Dream Center, a nonprofit that provides education and medical services and food to those in need. AJ, you've got a great personal story. When you see the way this president, this administration have been leaning in to create opportunities, investments in communities around the country to create jobs, expanding educational choice, what does that mean to the families that you serve every day?
It means so much to our families. I did grow up in a single-parent home, and so we serve over 600 boys and girls right now on a daily basis, even in COVID. And so for us to give these moms to have an opportunity to take more money on their check, on their paycheck home back to them, to have their children be able to go to a school that they may not have the opportunity to otherwise, it means so much to us. There's been so much greater opportunity for individuals to come together in any walk of life. People have really been able to see such a positive change and been filled with hope, especially throughout this time.
Lydia left hearth and home, friends and family in Honduras to pursue a better life here in America. While raising their 4 daughters, Lydia and her husband run a small business that creates security systems. But just months after their business was up and running, our nation was struck by a global pandemic. That's when President Donald Trump stepped in and enacted the largest financial relief package in American history. Her small business stayed in business, and her American dream kept running strong.
The bipartisan bill, which, by the way, is running out, the PPP factor of that. And so American Airlines is laying off 19,000 people. I think it was American, might have been United. Somebody announced this morning, I think it was American, 19,000 employees are about to be furloughed because the PPP package, which is already part of the HEROES Act that the Democrats passed in the House on May 12th, can't even get a vote in the Senate.
What did the Paycheck Protection Program mean to your company?
And that's the Paycheck Protect. It's being extended in the HEROES Act.
The coronavirus struck.
Yeah.
It was a huge, tremendous.
So this is post-coronavirus, and he's standing in close proximity with all these people and no masks.
Help and a big blessing.
But as we learned earlier, the pandemic is in the past tense now, so...
And so we applied, we were accepted really quickly. We're so grateful. You can't believe how much relief we had. We want to continue serving our clients. We want to continue growing our economy, right? We want to all continue to move forward. So we were able to make it. Because of the support of family and friends, the government.
Didn't we just get done hearing that government needs to stay out of our way? Isn't that what...
Tell my children, they are.
Wasn't it Tiffany who said something about the government and Joe Biden? What?
Born here in the U.S. And I tell them, you are so blessed to live in America.
Here at Abraham Lincoln's boyhood home, a young man would grow up to become the first Republican president of the United States. And today, another Republican president is fighting to preserve that same noble legacy of freedom. And President Donald Trump will make certain that the torch of American opportunity illuminates every city.
Oh, I was wrong, by the way. It's not a green screen. I think he's really there. But boy, it looks like a green screen right now. Maybe it was a static shot that they shot before.
Every town and every community in this blessed land.
Yeah, none of the leaves are
I'm
moving
Ryan
in the
Holitz.
background. Looks like
I'm a
green
police
screen.
officer from New Mexico.
Yeah.
In 2017, I had an encounter that changed my life forever. I had just started my shift and responded to a call for service at a gas station. When I arrived, I saw a man and a woman sitting on a grassy slope. I recognized the telltale signs, a needle, a spoon. I knew immediately that they were preparing to inject themselves with heroin. Sadly, this is a common sight for me. I encounter the ravages of addiction every day. But nothing could prepare me for what I discovered as I approached them. The woman was very pregnant. In my shock, I asked her if she knew that she was harming her baby by doing drugs. She crumbled and...
I wasn't laughing at the pregnant lady. Tom Finnerty just in the background is real. Pence is CGI, probably.
Burst into tears. Two worlds collided as I knelt down beside her. A police officer and a homeless drug addict, brought together by forces outside of our control. As we talked, our humanity, distinct from our stations in life, was made abundantly clear. Her name was Crystal, and in the midst of her suffering, she confided that she loved her unborn baby. She wanted the best for her child. In that moment, I saw her the way that all of you who know and love an addict see them, as fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, cousins, and friends, as human beings, full of value and dignity, but robbed of their potential by this disease. When Crystal said that she was looking for a family to adopt her baby, God showed me exactly what I had to do. Without hesitation, I told her that my family would welcome her baby through adoption. Today, our beautiful daughter Hope is a thriving 2-year-old. Crystal is fast approaching 3 years of recovery. She is a dear friend and a constant inspiration to me and others.
That's kind of cool.
I hold a special place in my heart for those facing opioid addiction, and that's why I'm enormously grateful to the President for his leadership in fighting this deadly enemy. Through his efforts, we're turning the tide on the crisis of addiction. President Trump declared the opioid crisis to be a public health emergency and then secured $6 billion in new federal funding to help Americans fight opioid abuse. He invested an additional $100 million to stop the opioid crisis in rural America. And in a move that strikes at the root of the problem, he implemented a safer prescribing plan aimed at reducing opioid prescriptions by over 1/3 within 3 years. This is an effort that stops addiction before it ever gains a hold in someone's life. And it's having an impact. Drug overdose deaths decreased in 2018 for the first time in 30 years. Many of the states hardest hit by the opioid crisis are seeing the largest drop in deaths. We're seeing that doctors are writing fewer prescriptions for opioid pain drugs. These are significant improvements that have a meaningful impact. I think we are fortunate, America, to have a president who cares deeply for the downtrodden and who works tirelessly to find solutions. A president who doesn't just talk about problems, but stops and helps. President Trump is the leader we've needed the last 4 years, and he is the leader we need for the next 4. You see, Donald Trump is the right president at the right time. Let's make sure he's reelected on November 3rd. I pray God's blessings on you and your family, and may God bless America.
Good evening. My name is Jeanette Nunez, and I'm proud to serve as Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Florida. Tonight, I'm honored to share my story of faith, family, and American freedom. As the daughter of Cuban immigrants, my story began in 1959, before I was born, when my parents...
Guys, it's August, and the CDC still hasn't released the drug overdose figures from last year. It's August. I know the CDC's kind of busy this year, but it's August.
Dreams of a prosperous life became a nightmare. Chaos spread quickly when Fidel Castro took control of Cuba. The government confiscated private property, stealing people's homes.
If the Republicans haven't sewn up the Cuban vote yet in Florida, that's a huge issue. Yesterday they had a Cuban immigrant on as well. So we know that the polling in Florida is scaring the hell out of the Republicans.
Farms and businesses. For my parents, the difficult decision to flee communist Cuba came when the Castro regime abolished religious freedom. Fellow Americans, the fabric of our nation is in peril. Daily, the radical left systematically chisels away at the freedoms we cherish. They peddle dangerous ideologies, cower to global progressives, and normalize socialism to dismantle our Constitution.
Okay, we're moving past her.
That has to disappoint ownership. The president is fighting to rescue American jobs and industries for places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Puerto Rico. Jobs that were needlessly shipped overseas.
Okay.
And daughter first the family.
Here we go. Hey, Rich. What are we doing? Oh, this is, yeah, I saw this earlier today. This is Trump at an immigration ceremony. These are new citizens. Nothing worth watching here. Oh, let's go to Eric. Here's some promise right there.
Good evening. Good evening, America. When I stood on this convention stage 4 years ago, no one fully understood the historic change that was about to take place.
You were at a different place on a convention stage, but okay.
We could all feel it. Something was happening.
Yeah.
A movement was forming just below the surface. The forgotten man and woman, voiceless in Washington, D.C., were preparing to rise up. Our movement followed the pattern of so many that came before us, preparing to rise up. Our movement followed the pattern of so many...
What is a pattern? I know he does not have a speech impediment. They all have reading impairment. They just do. As a guy with a reading impairment, they've got reading impairments. I recognize this pattern.
Many that came before us. First, we were ignored. Then we were laughed at.
I'm sorry, what?
Then they fought us, and then, together, we won. From that moment forward, America came first. America started,
what?
We won. From that moment forward, America came first. America started winning again. America became respected again. But with every movement, there's a counter-movement. In the view of the radical Democrats...
That's not actually true.
America is the source of the world's problems. As a result, they believe the only path forward is to erase history and forget the past. They want to destroy the monuments of our forefathers. They want to disrespect our flag, burn the stars and stripes that represent patriotism and the American dream. They want to disrespect our national anthem by taking a knee while our armed forces...
By what, a knee?
They want to disrespect our national anthem by taking a knee.
Taking a knee. I can't even... There's a syllable missing there somewhere. There's also a chromosome.
While our armed forces lay down their lives
Wait, can I use that joke anymore? I think that's bad.
Every day to protect our freedom. They do not want the Pledge of Allegiance in our schools. Many of them don't want one nation under God. The Democrats want to defund and disrespect our law enforcement.
Okay, Biden has pledged to increase law enforcement training, safety, well-being, psychological counseling.
The Democrats want an America where your thoughts and opinions are censored when they do not align with their own. President Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, and it must be protected. This is the fight that we are in right now, and it is a fight that only my father can win. My father ran not because he needed the job, but because he knew hard-working people across this great country were being left behind. The media mocked these patriots in the flyover states in which they lived. They ignored the Trump flag.
He's not good with the air quotes.
Hard-working people across this great country were being left behind. The media mocked these patriots in the
put your fingers up.
flyover states in which they live.
He can't do the two things at once. Media and the flyover states in which it's like on a teleprompter. Close fingers. Flyover states.
They ignored the Trump patriots in the flyover states in which they lived. They ignored the Trump flags. They ignored the millions of MAGA banners and barns painted in red, white, and blue. The silent majority had no one fighting for them in either party. Their so-called leaders were bowing to China, bribing Iran, and spending more time worrying about...
Thank you, Jeremy.
...about how they'd be received by the elites in Paris than how Americans would provide for their families in Pittsburgh. Our family lost friends, but it only pushed us to fight harder. My father pledged...
Wait, your family had friends?
...to every American in every city, state, and town that he was going to make America great again. And so began the Great American Comeback. Almost immediately, taxes were slashed, regulations were cut, and the economy soared to new heights, heights never seen before.
The economy was at 2.1% GDP, and we just hit record lows.
Wages went through the roof. Unemployment reached...
Wages did not go through... No wages went through a roof.
The historic lows, especially for Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, and women. Trade deals were ripped up and renegotiated. Lights were turned back on in abandoned factories across our country.
Oh, okay.
Trillions of dollars were repatriated back to the United States, which had been sitting in foreign lands for
tax-free
far too long.
So the American people didn't get those. Shareholders got those. They went to stock buybacks. Even Trump has railed against that because it wasn't supposed to happen that way under the tax cut plan. But that's exactly what happened. The rich just got richer.
Once again.
So the $1 trillion deficit is only a fifth of the story. The other 4/5 of the, let's just say 80% of the story, is the fact that all that money that should have been taxed, that $300 per American, that could have been used to build roads or schools or pay for this or that, that just went into the top 1%'s pockets.
And America became the envy of the world. And with that...
We weren't?
Renewed strength came leverage. The president demanded that our allies pay their fair share for the defense of the Western world. My father rebuilt the mighty American military, adding new jets, aircraft carriers. He increased wages for our incredible men and women in uniform. He expanded our military defense budget to $721 billion per year. America was no longer weak in the eye of the enemy.
I mean, Obama's budget was 700 plus, I think 702 per year. But yeah, now that it's 720, that's, oh yeah, because we were out of ammunition. I don't know if you guys knew that.
The moment President Trump ordered special forces to kill some of the deadliest terrorists on the planet, the day the mighty Moab was dropped on insurgent camps, is the day America took a stance to never be defeated by the enemy. Al-Baghdadi, Soleimani, dead. Over and over, issue after issue, the economy, the wall, the military, trade deals, tax.
The economy? Did he just say the economy?
Over and over, issue after issue, the economy, the wall, the military, trade deals, tax cuts, Supreme Court justices, VA hospitals, prescription drugs, school choice, right to try, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, peace in the Middle East. Never-ending wars were finally ended. Promises made and promises for the first time were kept. Most politicians spend their entire careers in Washington, D.C. and get absolutely nothing accomplished. For example, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a politician who has been in government for 47 years. He's a career politician who's never signed the front of a check and does not know the slightest thing about the American worker or the American business. The engine...
That's a really weird accusation that Joe Biden has never signed the front of a check. What? It's just completely random. Okay.
Which fuels the greatest economy the world has ever known.
Known?
The same politician who has been a total pushover for communist China, and someone who would be a giant relief for terrorists who now have spent years running, hiding, and being taken out by the most talented.
You know, a giant relief for terrorists. You know, like Bin Laden.
Military known to man. Joe Biden has pledged to raise your taxes by $4 trillion.
I was going to vote for Biden until I found out that he'd never signed the front of a check?
82% of Americans will see their taxes go up significantly. Biden has pledged to stop border wall construction and give amnesty and health care.
That's fine because the president says he's done. Yeah, he says he's almost done. So we have, by the way, as of June, we had 3 new miles of border wall. I'm sorry, fence. It's not a wall. It's not a giant concrete wall like he bragged about creating and having Mexico paid for. Oh, and Mexico's not paying for it. 3 new miles in June. It's probably more now. It could have tripled.
To all illegal immigrants. Biden has pledged to defund the police and take away your cherished Second Amendment. My father, on the other...
No. Biden has not pledged... By the way, drinking word is Biden. Has not pledged to take away your Second Amendment and defund the police. Neither one.
Hand delivered the largest tax cuts in American history.
They were not the largest tax cuts in American history. They're the 7th largest since the 1980s.
If you do not have a border, you do not have a country.
Not true. You can have a country without a border. Vatican City.
And will always support law enforcement.
Andorra, Liechtenstein. Literally, most of Europe is borderless now.
And your right to keep and bear arms. Every day, my father fights for the American people, the forgotten man and woman of this country, the ones who embody the American spirit, which is unlike anything else in the world. It built the New York City skyline. It built the Hoover Dam. And soon...
It's part of the New Deal, yeah.
Under my father's leadership, it will send Americans to Mars.
Woo!
The American spirit can be felt in the majesty of the Grand Canyon. The shadows of Mount...
Actually, nature created the Grand Canyon. It's not the American spirit.
Mount Rushmore and the stillness...
Rushmore, yes.
...of the air at Gettysburg. It can be seen in the wide-eyed wonder of every American child as they take their first breath in the greatest country the world has ever known.
Actually, when children are born and they take their first breath, typically their eyes are very narrow. Some children are born with their eyes shut, actually, and then they open gradually over the course of 2 weeks, and the mothers will... That might be kittens.
It defeated fascism, it defeated communism, and in 68 days, it will defeat the empty, oppressive, and radical views of the extreme left.
If they're empty, how can they be do you see?
Ronald Reagan's quote ends with this simple warning. One day we could spend our sunset years telling our children what it was once like in the United States where men and women were free. Under President Trump, freedom will never be a thing of the past. That's what a vote for Donald Trump represents. It's a vote for the American spirit.
Almost screwed up his own name.
And women were free. Under President Trump, freedom will never be a thing of the past. That's what a vote for Donald Trump represents.
Donald Trump. Donald R. Trump? Is there another What's Junior's middle name?
It's a vote for the American spirit,
Donald Trump,
the American dream, and for the American flag. To the law enforcement officer who's being attacked, betrayed, and whose job they are trying to make extinct, my father will fight for you.
Your what?
To all make extinct, my father will fight for you.
Who is that? It's not. For a second there, I thought it was Austin Powers with Fajar doing the Dutch accent. No. Who? My father. Who says father? That's a thing. But father. You have to stick your tongue out while you're doing it. Father. Watch him.
They are trying to make extinct. My father will fight for you.
Like he almost says farther, but father. Yosemite Sam.
Trying to make extinct. My father will fight for you.
Actually, Sylvester the cat talks like that.
To all houses of worship and to all people of faith, stripped of our religious freedoms and religious liberties, my father will fight for you.
Okay, fixed it. What was that, though? What was the father? Suffering fuckatash.
To the voiceless, shamed,
we're still going?
And canceled, my father will fight for you. To our farmers who work dawn to dusk to keep our plates full, my father will fight for you.
Yeah.
To every single mother and father, to our veterans, our coal miners, and to the American worker, my father will fight for you.
No, you're doing it.
And
to
every proud American who bleeds red, white and blue,
go see your doctor.
My father will continue to fight for you. In closing, I'd like to speak directly to my father. I miss working alongside you.
I miss you so much. Please answer the phone. Even just returning a text would mean the world to me, Dad.
Every single day, but I'm damn proud to be on the front lines of this fight. I'm proud of what you are doing for this country. I'm proud to show my children what their grandfather is fighting for. I'm proud to watch you give them hell. Never stop. Continue to be unapologetic. Keep fighting for what is right. You are making America strong again. You are making America safe again. You are making America proud again. And yes, together with a forgotten man and woman who are finally forgotten no more, you are making America great again. Dad, let's make Uncle Robert.
Dad, call me Father. What? Who is it? There's a Simpsons episode where Homer is destroying a robot that he built or something like that, and the robot's like, Father, no, please.
We're very proud this week. Let's go get another 4 years.
Father,
I love you very much.
I love
God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
United States. Okay. The best is yet to come!
We're going to build a future of safety and opportunity for Americans of every race, color, religion, and creed.
Our president has created such a surplus that when this pandemic hit, he was able to refund Americans without indebting us.
We're all better off when former inmates can receive and re-enter society as law-abiding, productive citizens. They now have a chance at more opportunities than they've ever had before.
To be incarcerated for 16 and a half years for hearsay.
By the way, remember after she was released, Trump was like, hey, all you NFL players, give me a list of all your criminal buddies that need to get out of jail. That's what happened. Kim Kardashian. Okay, first, let's just back up here. President of the United States. Kim Kardashian pardons. President says, hey, NFL players, stop kneeling. Also, tell me about black people that need to get out of jail. NFL players. What are you talking? Trump, yeah, I'm totally gonna pardon everybody. Flash forward to today. Nope. That was History with Heavenly Father.
Emotional thinking about it.
Oh, is YouTube down again? Hold on. Oh, you guys are such high maintenance.
It's a feeling that I can't describe.
When people say we're oppressed here in the United States, how?
Right now, this country for me is the last beacon.
Really? Bev, the YouTube stream died? Bev? Bave, the YouTube stream died? The one that I'm looking at? Really, guys? Ha ha, you're so funny. Let's make Kevin believe that the YouTube isn't. Yeah, I know, it's coming and going.
Of hope and opportunity. If America falls, the entire world falls. Trump's pledge to the American workers.
Why did they just show Biden praying? What was that about?
Country for me is the last beacon of hope and opportunity. If America falls, the entire world falls. Trump.
Okay, they're showing Biden praying, kneeling down to pray in a church, as if America was falling? No pun intended, but Jesus fucking Christ. Here it is again.
How? Right now, this country for me is the last beacon of hope and opportunity. If America falls, the entire world falls. Trump's pledge.
I don't know. I don't even know how to process that. Remember, the Trump campaign took that picture of Biden kneeling in church and then superimposed it in something that looked like a basement, as if Biden was out of hope. He was kneeling with his head down in prayer in a church and tried to use that against him. And now what? What?
To the American workers definitely means a lot to me, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I truly believe that my kids are going to look up to me one day. It's just tremendous what I could do, I guess.
The forgotten men and women will never be forgotten.
There he is. He likes to turn around to the back of the crowd, show him this going on as well. Let's go back.
Kids are going to look up to me one day.
Look for it.
It's just tremendous what I could do, I guess.
The forgotten men and women will never be forgotten again.
You know, in Biden's America, there aren't opportunity zones. Here you have an administration that actually looks at how can government and private enterprise work together.
As we fight to deliver a better future for all women and for all.
I just watched myself on the delay doing that. You guys are lucky to have me. Just saying.
Americans, we remember the wonderful victory 1 century ago.
And in the following November, the ladies appeared at the polls on Election Day.
That is called genuflection. That is true. But I don't think he was entering a pew there. Pew, 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 pew.
By the hundreds of thousands, they had won their right to vote.
Before the China virus set in, it struck our nation. Women had gained 4.3 million jobs, a record. The women's unemployment rate had plummeted to the lowest level in more than 65 years. And last year, over 70% of the new jobs went to women. And I will say we're coming back very strongly.
We have the most opportunity.
That's the American story, isn't it? That we have hope, that even though we're in dark days now, that the days ahead
Melania hits child.
Hold greater possibilities because of the opportunities that we've been given in our country.
Did the music just run out at that point? Did they lose their copyright license?
Hold greater possibilities because of the opportunities that we've been given in our country.
And we will make America great again.
4 more beers. 4 more beers. That's when they should have shown the Billie Jean lady clapping along. All right. Somebody.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Cameron. I'm 34 years old and the first African-American Attorney General in Kentucky history.
Cool.
It is an honor to be with you as a proud Republican and supporter of Donald J. Trump. I was raised in Kentucky, just a few miles from Abraham Lincoln's birthplace. Our first Republican president believed in compassion, self-reliance, freedom, equality, and justice. Sadly, there are some who don't believe in this wisdom or in the better angels of our shared American history as they tear down the statues of people like Ulysses S. Grant, Frederick Douglass, and even Mr. Lincoln himself.
I've watched so much Trump that Ulysses sounds normal to me now. So when he said Ulysses, I'm like, wait, is that
himself. Lincoln said, any nation that does not honor its heroes will not long endure. And for Republicans, our heroes are those who propelled an imperfect nation ever forward, always striving to make...
Oh, whoa. You are not allowed to call it an imperfect nation. That's what the Democrats did last week, and boy, we got really upset about that.
Life better for everyone. Even as anarchists mindlessly tear up...
I wish this guy loved America. Why? Why would you criticize America like that?
Up American cities while attacking police and innocent bystanders. We Republicans do recognize those who work in good faith towards peace, justice, and equality. In fact, it was General Dwight Eisenhower, a future Republican president, who said, democracy is a system that recognizes the equality of humans.
Okay, moving on.
However, let's be honest.
This guy's like so normal that he's boring. Sorry, guy.
Job.
There we go.
Looking out over the...
Who wants to see a violation of the Hatch Act?
Hi, I'm Mike Pompeo. I'm speaking to you from beautiful Jerusalem, looking out over the old city. I have a big job as Susan's husband and Nick's dad. Susan and Nick are more safe, and their freedom's more secure because President Trump has put his America First vision into action. It may not have made him popular in every foreign capital, but it's worked. President Trump understands what my great fellow Kansan President Eisenhower said. For all that we cherish and justly desire for ourselves or for our children, the securing of peace is the first requisite. Indeed, the primary constitutional function of the national government is ensuring that your family and mine are safe and enjoy the freedom to live, to work, to learn, and to worship as they choose.
I mean, we're like all quarantined in our homes right now, trying not to get a virus that's killed 200,000 Americans. Like, what part is the safety part again?
Delivering on this duty to keep us safe and our freedoms intact, this president has led bold...
Like, I literally can't go inside a restaurant right now. So which, again, the freedom part. Go over that again?
Bold initiatives in nearly every corner of the world. In China, he's pulled back the curtain on the predatory aggression of the Chinese Communist Party. The president has held China accountable for covering up the China virus and allowing it...
the China, they covered it up, did they?
...to spread death and economic destruction in America and around the world.
Yeah, and somehow all the other countries, including China, were able to trace and contain it. Why is it that we're not able to do that after 8 months? Why do I not have an N95 mask? Why are they not available on every street corner? Why not?
And he will not rest until justice is done. He is
justice to China for getting a virus?
Ensured that the Chinese Communist Party spies posing as diplomats in America are jailed or sent back to China.
Yeah, they have something. Mike, you know they have diplomatic immunity. What do you think that phrase means? Mike is a smart guy. He really is. But he's just sold his soul for this.
And he has ended the ridiculously unfair trade arrangement with China that punched a hole in our economy.
Yeah, there was no trade arrangement. There wasn't a trade deal. That's not a thing. They keep saying that they fixed it, but it didn't exist.
Those jobs are coming back home. In North
So everyone who wants to make textiles, they're coming.
Korea, the president lowered the temperature and against all odds got the North Korean leadership to the table. No nuclear tests, no long-range missile tests, and Americans held captive in North Korea came home to their families, as did the precious remains.
They've been doing ballistic missile tests. That's a misleading statement.
Of scores of
and he knows it, by the way. He knows what a ballistic missile is.
Heroes who fought in Korea. Today,
those are payload and solid fuel tests, and he knows it.
Today, because of President Trump, NATO is stronger, Ukraine has defensive weapon systems, and America left a harmful treaty so our nation can now build missiles to deter Russian aggression. And in the Middle East, when Iran threatened, the president approved a strike that killed the Iranian terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. This is the man most responsible for the murder and maiming of hundreds of American soldiers and thousands of Christians across the Middle East. And you'll recall, too, that when the president took office, radical Islamic terrorists had beheaded Americans, and ISIS controlled a territory in the size of Great Britain. Today, because of the president's determination and leadership, the ISIS caliphate is wiped out. It's gone. Its evil leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, is dead. And our brave soldiers, they're on their way home. The president exited the U.S. from the disastrous nuclear deal with Iran and squeezed the Ayatollah, Hezbollah, and Hamas. The president, too, moved the U.S. Embassy to this very city of God.
He's such a terrible reader.
Jerusalem, the rightful capital of the Jewish homeland. And just 2 weeks ago, the president brokered a historic peace deal between Israel.
He's trying to be a statue. I think we should tear the statues down. I wasn't for it until right now.
And the United Arab Emirates. This is a deal that our grandchildren will read about in their history books. You know, as a soldier.
So I've said if it comes right down to it, Trump's going to start a war. I really hope I'm wrong. But someone's going to tell him that wartime presidents get reelected. And it is not looking good for Trump. Again, if they're trying to get the Cuban vote in Florida, they're in trouble.
I saw firsthand people death.
Yes, ISIS is still around, and we recently had 2 ISIS terrorist attacks in the United States, which have just gotten brushed away because of the coronavirus coverage.
Desperate to flee to freedom. The way each of us can best ensure our freedoms is by electing leaders who don't just talk, but who deliver. An American hostage, imprisoned in Turkey for 2 years, Pastor Andrew Brunson, said upon his release that he survived his ordeal with these words of Scripture: be faithful, endure, and finish well.
And then President Trump told him, well, I've got to say President Erdogan has really treated me quite well.
If we stay the course, we will.
You know, the guy who kept you in prison illegally for 2 years. He's a good guy. You just don't know him.
May God richly bless you, and may God bless our great nation, the United States of America.
Oh, is this Melania? I'm glad she got rid of all those roses. Okay. Oh. Is he going to finish off? Not a mask. Not a mask in the crowd. Oh, wait. The very back. They make the mask wearers sit in the back.
It is my great honor to present First Lady Melania Trump.
First Lady Melania Trump. First Lady Melania Trump officially kicking off her Be Best initiative.
She is courageous. She's taking on a tough topic.
Focused on the well-being of children.
Her own husband, the internet's biggest bully.
Social media use and opioid abuse.
Let's join together in a committing to help children dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything they do.
This is her showcasing what she brings to the position of First Lady.
She is smart, independent, and I think people have underestimated her big time.
The First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed true compassion.
That's the jacket.
Independent,
Hold on.
and I think people have underestimated her big time.
The First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed
that might not be the jacket. Nope, that's not the jacket. I really don't care, do you, jacket? Remember that?
true compassion.
First Lady Melania Trump stepping out onto the world stage.
Her Be-Based campaign is now going international.
Somewhere there's a musical artist going, why are they using our song? Why? They do not have permission to use. And the manager is like on the phone with them right now going, actually, they don't have to ask for permission. They just have to pay the royalties. And then but no, I do not want them. Melania is not allowed to use my song.
She has the advantage of speaking several languages. She can be a diplomat for our country. The sun was shining. She was greeted.
And the great thing is nobody's sure which languages those are. One of them could be English.
By children. This, of course, is her continuing to work on her Be Best campaign by shining a spotlight on successful programs that teach children tools and skills.
She represents our country with enormous warmth and elegance and grace.
Throughout history, women have made lasting impacts on society, and these women represent the strength of the female spirit. As First Lady of the United States, I'm proud of what this country continues to do for women. We as women must continue using our great tool of empowerment, our voices.
It was a very important moment for Melania Trump. This was a really prominent week for her.
The iconic White House Rose Garden has been renovated for the first time in 60 years.
When the history books are written, there should be a special chapter reserved for our First Lady.
She is an incredible First Lady.
An amazing mother, an incredible woman, for amazing
Special
mother.
First Lady.
She is an incredible First Lady.
I just noticed something, but I can't talk about it because I don't talk about the kids until they're 18.
An amazing mother, an incredible woman, First Lady Melania Trump.
So reportedly, she wrote this entire thing herself so she copied it entirely herself without anyone's help. Nicely edited, though. I mean, that was a great package.
Lady Melania Trump.
Wow, they are milking this. I hope he tries to hold her hand. That crowd sounds like that does not sound like an outdoor crowd. You hear the reverb? Well, there's nothing for that sound to come reverbing off of. I wonder if this is pre-recorded.
Good evening.
And you hear when they're going, woo! And you can hear the echo, much like you can in this basically vacant studio. That does not sound right. I could be wrong. It could be weird audio levels, but... See, and I see one person like this, one woman. I'm not seeing people whistling. I'm not seeing... Is there a secondary crowd somewhere? This is all conspiracy nonsense, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this is a lot more... This is applause recorded somewhere else indoors and played there.
Good evening. It seems like
Yeah, that was completely piped in.
just yesterday that we were at our first convention where my husband accepted the...
But then she's got purpose. I don't know. Could be... I don't know. Just weird. And it's a rose garden where she got rid of most of the trees. So there's a lot of open space now. That could be what's going...
Republican nomination, and then became our 45th president of the United States.
I guess I can't make fun of her accent because it's her accent.
Yet the energy and enthusiasm for who should lead this nation, it is real today as it was 4 years ago. I know I speak for my husband and the entire family when I say we have not forgotten the incredible people who were willing to take a chance on a businessman who had never worked in politics. We know it was you who elected him to be Commander-in-Chief, and we know it is you who will carry us through again. We were humbled by the incredible support then, and we are still grateful today.
She is so much a better reader in English than her husband. Honestly, I let her be president.
I want to acknowledge the fact that since March, our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across
It's China virus, Melania.
our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one, and my prayers are with those who are ill or suffering. I know many people are anxious and some feel helpless. I want you to know you're not alone. My husband's administration will not stop fighting until there is an effective treatment or vaccine available to everyone. Donald will not rest until he has done all he can to take care of everyone impacted by this terrible pandemic.
He will just golf a lot. Donald will golf but he's not resting.
I want to extend my gratitude.
I can't do Melania. I mean, literally, I cannot do, ugh.
To all of the healthcare professionals, frontline workers, and
it is Morse code. What's Morse code for SOS?
Teachers who stepped up in these difficult times. Despite the risk to yourselves and your own families, you put our country first, and my husband and I are grateful. I have been moved by the way Americans have come together in such an unfamiliar and often frightening situation. It is in times like this that we will look back and tell our grandchildren that through kindness and compassion, strength and determination, we were able to restore the promise of our future.
Kind of sounded like she spoke English natively for a second there. Like she could be faking this whole thing.
Businesses stepped up and volunteers stepped in. People were eager to share ideas, resources, and support of all kinds with neighbors and strangers alike. It has been inspiring to see what the people of our great nation will do for one another, especially when we are at our most fragile. Speaking of strength and determination, we recently celebrated the 100-year anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment. Yesterday, on the North Lawn of the White House, we unveiled an exhibit dedicated to women's suffrage. The exhibit called on children from across the country to send art honoring the meaning of this important time in women's history. When I was judging the entries, I reflected on the impact of women's voices in our nation's story, and how proud I will be to cast my vote again for Donald this November. We must make sure that women are heard and that the American dream continues to thrive. Growing up as a young child in Slovenia, which was
It's kind of funny that she can't say her TH sounds, but her husband says Thailand.
Under communist rule at the time, I always heard about an amazing place called America, a land that stood for freedom and opportunity. As I grew older, it became my goal to move to the United States and follow my dream of working in the fashion industry. My parents worked very hard to ensure our family could not only live and prosper in America, but also contribute to a nation that allows
her mom and dad are here now, through chain migration.
Allows for people to arrive with a dream and make it reality. I want to take the moment to thank my mother and father for all they have done for our family. It is because of you that I'm standing here today.
Technically, that is true.
I arrived in the United States when I was 20.
I want to listen to that.
I arrived in the United States when I was 26 years old.
That could be the actual audio. That's synced up pretty well.
Living and working in the land of opportunity was a dream come true, but I wanted more. I wanted to be a citizen.
My best guess is that there's a microphone placed facing that nobody cares.
After 10 years of paperwork and patience, I studied for the test in 2006 and became an American citizen. It is still one of the proudest moments in my life because with hard work and determination, I was able to achieve my own American dream. As an immigrant and a very independent woman, I understand what a privilege it is to live here and to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities that we have. As First Lady, I have been fortunate to see the American dream come true over and over again. I have met many inspiring women, children, parents, and families who have overcome life-changing issues that include addiction, homelessness, family members who are ill or have passed away, abuse of all kinds, and many other challenges that would make most people give up. The past 3.5 years have been unforgettable. There are no words to describe.
I would hope so. Since you're the fucking First Lady.
Describe how honored, humbled, and fortunate I am to serve our nation as your First Lady.
Hey, Melania, remember that time that you were the First Lady? No, it is gone. I asked my mother.
After many of the experiences I've had, I don't know if I can fully explain how many people I take home with me in my heart each day. From brave soldiers who give up so much so that we can be free, to children of all circumstances who I have met around the world. Thank you for inspiring me. It is
now
my
you
greatest
care, do you?
honor to serve you. When I speak to members of the military, despite sacrificing time with their families, experience the fear of war or suffering loss, they have no regrets about serving our country. The same goes for their families and the families of first responders who often watch their loved ones walk
This is already too long.
out the door, not sure if or when they will come home.
Is he the big headliner? There's got to be more after this. Is there somebody else who's coming up?
When I speak to families who have lost someone, the pain mixed with pride I hear in their voices is something I think about often. So thank you to all who serve our country in the military and as first responders. And thank you to the families who wait for them. You are our heroes in your own right. I have also been moved by the many children and families I've spent time with at hospitals, schools, and other locations around the world.
He talked.
Children who are dealing with pain or illness that would break even the strongest adult. Parents who are grateful to wake up every day and see that their child is still alive. These families are a testament to what faith and medicine, strength and science can do. On my first international trip as First Lady, my husband and I visited places of great significance to the three major religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. One special memory from that trip is of a young boy
Allison, just
I
go
had
to bed.
privilege
Good night,
of
Allison.
visiting
Everybody say good night to
while at
Allison.
Bambino Gesù Hospital
Go to
in
bed.
Rome, Italy. While there, I read the little boy a story and learned that he and his family had a to the little one. My husband and I have visited many places that have been affected.
I'm just going to jump through most of her. This is nothing. If somebody wants me to go back on her or something, let me see. This is let's say 18 minutes. Let me know. But
by natural disaster, and we are deeply moved by the tragedy just told. But Donald, each day, inspired by the millions of Americans who wake up each day with a simple yet courageous goal of providing for their families and keeping them safe. You are the backbone of this country. You are the people who continue to make the United States of America what it is, and who have the incredible responsibility of preparing our future generations to leave everything even better than they found it.
if she had a front-facing teleprompter the whole time, why wasn't she using it?
Just as you are fighting for your families, my husband, our family, and the people in this administration are here fighting for you. No matter the amount of negative or false media headlines or attacks from the other side, Donald Trump has not and will not lose focus on you.
Lady Madonna.
He loves this country,
Children at
and he
feet.
knows how to get things done.
Wonder how you manage
As you have
to
learned over the
make
past
ends
5
meet.
years, he's not a traditional politician. He doesn't just speak words. He demands action, and he gets results. The future of our country has always been very important to him, and it is something that I have always admired. And drug like everything I could steer my mind and while there, I visited the
See how they're dumb, Lady Madonna. Children at your breast.
Cape Coast
Wonder
Castle
how you
and
managed to
learn
be
more about the beginning
rest.
of a cruel and often deadly journey in the era of the slave trade. And
Okay. Oh, hold on. She said something about the slave trade. Slave trade. What happened? Do it.
I was horrified when I
Oh.
listened to the guide tell me so many inhumane stories, and I gained new perspectives. It is time in our history we must never forget, so that we can ensure that it never happens again.
Slavery? So yeah. Also that. Are they saying Biden's going to come with the slavery?
Like all of you, I have reflected on the racial unrest in our country.
Oh, is Biden going to be on Periscope?
It is a harsh reality that we are not proud of parts of our history. I encourage people to focus on our future while still learning from our past. We must remember that today we are all one community comprised of many races, religions, and ethnicities. Our diverse and storied history is what makes our country strong, and yet we still have so much to learn from one another. With that in mind, I like to call on the citizens of this country to take a moment, pause, and look at things from all perspectives. I urge people to come together in a civil manner so we can work and live up to our standard American ideals. I also ask people to stop the violence and looting being done in the name of justice.
Oh.
And never
Guys,
make
Melania
assumptions
says let's not
based
burn
on
down
the
the
color
store.
of a person's skin. Instead of tearing things down,
Yeah.
let's reflect on our mistakes, be proud of our evolution, and look to our way forward.
Ah.
Every day, let us remember that we are one nation under God, and we need to cherish one another. My husband's administration has worked to try and effect change when it comes to issues around race and religion.
She doesn't have the front-facing I can't even say it. I'm done. What happened to the teleprompter she was reading off at the front? It's not there anymore?
In this country. He's the first president to address a special session of the United Nations General Assembly.
United Nations.
To call upon countries across the world to end religious persecution and honor the right of every person to worship as they choose.
Yeah, the guy who said no Muslims entering the United States until we figure out what the hell is going on is the guy who invented freedom of religious persecution. Yeah, that's the... Wow. Has she never met her husband?
He has made substantial investments in our historically black colleges and universities. This president also continues to fight for school choice, giving parents more options to help their children.
You're probably
flourish.
right, Todd.
My husband knows how to make a real change. From the day that I met him, he has only wanted to make this country the best it can be. For many years, I watched him grow concerned and frustrated.
So the crickets in the background are a very nice touch.
And I'm so proud to see the many things he has done in such a short time. America is in his heart. So while at times we only see the worst of people and politics on the evening news, let's remember how we come together.
They live in separate worlds, Betty Sue.
In the most difficult times.
Ironic that you keep saying come together. Right now.
And while debate rages on about issues of race, let's focus on the strides we have made and work together for a better tomorrow for everyone.
Here come
Our administration has also devoted historic resources and produced life-saving results by raising awareness around opioid addiction and drug abuse, especially for children. When so often the headlines are filled with gossip, I want to take this moment to encourage the media to focus even more on the nation's drug crisis. This disease is one that affects everybody. It pays no attention to race, age, or socioeconomic status. Addiction has touched every part of our society in some way. And now more than ever, we have programs and medicine to combat it. We just need to talk about it openly. And you, the media, have the platforms to make that happen. To the media industry and as a country, I ask that we all commit to helping in our fights against drug addiction by talking about it even more. Especially as we battle the COVID pandemic, we need to remember that suicides are on the rise as people who are struggling with loneliness and addiction feel they have nowhere to turn. Parents, please talk to your children. Teachers and caregivers, pay attention to signs of addiction. Lawmakers, pass legislation that allows those who ask for help to do so safely and without fear, and to provide resources for organizations that help people impacted by addiction. When the stigma is removed, people will no longer be ashamed to ask for help, and lives will be saved. And if you are struggling with addiction, there is no shame in your illness. Please seek help. You are worth it. In my next 4 years as First Lady, I will continue to build upon Be Best and work with individual states to pass legislation to take care of our most vulnerable. I plan to continue the work I have started with children in foster care, as well as the minority communities and tribal nations. I want to ensure children are being protected and communities have the resources needed to combat drug addiction and child neglect or abuse. Like my husband and the administration, I will continue to encourage education that supports a child's individual needs. It is vital that children are given the building blocks to succeed.
Okay.
Last than most, and still have days that I look for wisdom and strength to do the very best I can for him. To mothers and parents everywhere, you are warriors. In my husband, you have a president who will
Holy crap, this has been 23 minutes already.
not stop fighting for you and your families. Unprecedented order. Donald,
What?
In fact, if you tell him he cannot be done, he just works harder. Donald, Donald is a husband who supports me in all that I do. He has built an administration with an unprecedented number of women in leadership roles and has fostered an environment where the American people are always the priority. He welcomes different points of view and encourages thinking outside of the box. I know I speak for my husband and the family when I say we are so grateful that you have trusted him to be your president, and we will be honored to serve this incredible
Actually, the majority of us did not trust him to be our... Anyway.
Country for 4 more years. As you have heard this evening, I don't want to use this precious time attacking the other side, because as we saw last week, that kind of talk only serves to divide the country further. I'm here because we need
Literally attack on the other side.
my husband to be our president and commander-in-chief for 4 more years. He is what is best for our country.
Dude, you're killing my broadcast. This is such a bummer note to go out on.
We all know Donald Trump makes no secrets about how he feels about things. Total honesty is what we as citizens deserve from our president. Whether you like it or not, you always know what he's thinking. And that is because he's an authentic person who loves this country and its people and wants to succeed. He wants nothing more than for this country to prosper, and he doesn't waste time playing politics.
Yeah, those are sprinklers.
Almost 4 years ago, we went into Election Day completely underestimated.
Yeah, so I figured out what's going on. The applause. The mics are set up in very strange places, and they're the wrong type of mics. There's different types of mics. There's cardio pattern. There's omnidirectional. Like they have. If we can hear the sprinklers, this was not done properly.
Despite what is being said again this year, I know, just as you do, that Americans will go to the polls and vote on the behalf of their families, our economy, our national security, and our children's future. To vote for those ideals is not a partisan vote. It is a
First speech ever to be sprayed off. Because it's sprayed off. That's what you're paying for, kids.
Common sense vote. Because those...
No, it's not shutter noise, it's sprinklers, because it's constant. It's a continuous beat. People don't take pictures like that. Unless they're listening to the Beatles in their headphones.
That we need my husband's leadership now more than ever in order to bring us back once again to the greatest economy and the strongest country ever known. God bless you all, your families, and God bless the United States of America.
You know, the way you kiss your wife on the cheek. It's a burst shutter for like 4 minutes. No, seriously, the shutter was going. It could be a shutter. It could be an automatic shutter. Yeah, could be a Canon 7D. I don't know. I'm the guy that like, oh, they're piping in fake applause. What do I know? Slap his hand away. I will give you $100 if you slap his hand away right now. That's what you want to do. Don't just walk out the closest door. Walk around so that the music runs out. And now you're just walking and everyone's like, okay. Let's listen to the music run out again. Well planned. That's the end of the music. You're still here? Yeah. Uh-huh. There's Kellyanne. That's them dismantling the mic. You can cut away anytime now, RNC. What is happening now? Is there nothing else to cut to? Okay, wide shot from the back, so it's very dark. The lens is not set correctly for the lighting. Okay, now we're gonna cut back to this. There's no music. There's no speech. Just people in chairs. People in chairs. Uh-huh. Are they just anticipating the networks would have cut away already? Is this... Woo! That's better. That was still the feed. Okay. Well, we should watch this actually, because that's pretty good. Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, I will get a copyright strike too if I do that as well. We were gonna watch something. Yeah, just watching COVID spread. All right, kids. So that was almost 2 hours of time. I can't believe we got in less than 2 hours. How do we even do that? Oh, I know why, because the broadcast stopped. So it was about 3 hours of time. Yeah, it was over. It was 3 hours and 12 minutes, kids. So, hey, thanks for joining me today. If you want to support broadcasts like this in the future, we'll be doing this tomorrow again, hopefully. And if you want to see people in chairs in commentary on it, and maybe a little bit of a Beatles song, and YouTube doesn't kick me out again, we'll just do it on Twitch if that's the case. Go to kevinleefather.com. If you can't afford to support me, that's fine. You can support me just by telling a friend, sharing the broadcast. Pick your favorite part and make a video of it or something. I don't know. So that's it for tonight. Thank you everyone for joining me. You guys make this entertaining for me because that Melania speech was holy crap. Thank you for keeping me awake through that. Oh boy, I've been drinking the entire time. I am almost out of children's blood. The children's isn't in school. Okay, so what do now, guys? Billy Joel madness? No, we're done with that. Be back tomorrow. We will be covering the third night of the RNC. What was the theme of today? Hold on. I want to see what the theme was again. I need to remind us what the theme was. Let's go to the RNC feed here. The RNC feed was not working earlier tonight, which, typical. The Epoch Times. Come on, where's the RNC? I was on it earlier. Give me a second. We'll find it. Does anybody know what the theme was tonight? Love you too, Rich. Let's go back. No, come on. Go.
I'm not going to give you.
Oh, this is still going on. So yeah, they must be playing it again on the RNC. Okay, the theme of tonight was Land of Opportunity, in case you didn't realize that. Kevin Lee found. Oh, well, I thought it was just me. I thought I was special. Well, screw you, producer Rich. Wait, no, you're producer. Don't screw. We have to be nice to producers. Can I get you something from Craft Services? So yeah, Kevin Lee daughter works tomorrow at 1. So I might be able to do a coffee, or what is it? Spilling covfefe in the morning. We might see you then. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for the RNC Day 3. And the theme of that is, hold on, I'll be able to tell you. Videos upcoming. If we do upcoming live streams. Tomorrow, night 3, is also Land of Opportunity. So, no, Land of Heroes. Land of Heroes. And then the last night is Land of Greatness. So, we got those to look forward to. Kids, it's been great. I still haven't updated. I got time tomorrow to upgrade the credits finally. So, tomorrow I will upgrade the credits. In the meantime, you guys say goodbye as the credits roll.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what?